I want to give a little introduction about the president. So I was talking to Shani Baji, and the thing that I noticed is that she really embodies what we need in leaders. She actually didn't even want to give a speech today, and I was like, "Come on, you're the president. At least talk." She's like, "All right, 5 minutes." I was like, "No, you need to, tell your story," because I was able to talk with her, and APPNA Alliance this year has been so great because a lot because of her. I mean, this time I think it's sold out. We've got the biggest entertainment lineup Alliance has ever seen, and a lot of it, obviously, is due to her. So actually, before she comes up, give her a round of applause. So she came up with the idea, think globally, act locally. And one thing that we're going to highlight today is why she chose that. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome President Shani Kazi. So we're going to do a little David Letterman style interview, and she's going to talk about, I guess, thinking globally and acting locally.
Thank you, Mo.
All right, let's have a seat.
Let's have a seat.
So actually, I want to share a funny story. She told me that she was very nervous and that she'd never, she didn't want to give a speech. And I was like, come on, you got to do it. So we're doing a little bit something different. We're going to do this, I guess, interview style. And I think it's going to be cool because you're going to get to see the passion and the flame and the fire that I got to witness, which has got me inspired to come up here and talk to you guys today. So how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'd like to thank all my audience for coming and supporting the cause and supporting the Alliance.
Awesome. Are you excited to be here in Orlando?
Sure.
She's from Phoenix, and it's really hot. So how's the weather compared to Orlando?
Dry, very dry.
Awesome. Well, the theme of the night is think globally, act locally. So I want to know, do you think everyone here today, people born in America, people born in Pakistan, immigrants, should we consider ourselves Pakistani, American, or both? And tell us why.
Well, I would say definitely both. But I would also say that, of course, American first and Pakistani second. Because, thank you.
All right, you guys can clap louder. Let's go.
And that's okay. Because we have to realize that just because we're brown, we're not just Pakistanis. We do have to realize that other people, after all, America is a melting pot. And everybody who has come here from somewhere else. And it's very, very important that we consider ourselves to be American first before anything else.
So, I mean, I definitely understand that because me, myself, I've lived all my life in East Tennessee. And I've noticed that there's a bunch of different Pakistanis. There's some, who consider themselves American and they, kind of think the way we do. But then there's also some who other people would consider fobs. And not only are they fobs, they're like, I'm never leaving the boat. Pakistan is coming with me. So now we're here in America. What can we do how can we expect the West to view Pakistanis favorably? What should we do as Pakistani Americans to be part of the American fabric?
Well, first of all, I think you cannot get rid of evil, but you can get rid of ignorance. And ignorance you get rid of through awareness. And by making aware, or by going through the awareness process, again, you have to act locally where you are.
So do you have any, examples that you have seen this happen that, spurred you to make this motto?
Volunteering in your communities and maybe getting involved with your American Medical Alliance, considering that we're all physician spouses of physicians, is a great opportunity because that was the first thing that really woke me up to realize that people don't look at you just because of what you look like, but they realize who you are after you offer your services to them.
Yeah,
and
so I remember you were telling me a story that I just thought was amazing because it really highlights that at a local level, it was just a a Pakistani. Actually, why don't you tell them a little bit more about that?
Which one?
Uh, your friend in the shalwar kameez.
Yes,
remember
my
that?
friend in the shalwar kameez. She lives, a very dear friend of mine, and her children go to a very elite private school in Phoenix, Arizona. And she comes to school with her child every day in a shalwar kameez with a dupatta on top of her head. And when I first saw her doing it, I'm like, wow, she's got a lot of confidence. But I noticed that people don't look at her shalwar kameez, they don't look at her dupatta, they look at her as an individual.
So why do they do that? What did she do differently that makes people accept her in her shalwar kameez as opposed to people who don't do what she did? What did she do?
Well, she's very involved in her child's school. She is the room mother, and they elect her to be the room mother every year for the past 5 years because they rely on her. They see that she can do a lot. She's on the board. She's always out there helping people, making their school a better community because it's her local community for her child.
Okay, so what can we do, similarly to that, what can we do to keep our Pakistani values and American values in a good balance? What can we do as opposed to whether it's singing the national anthem at an event like this? What else? What do you have in mind?
Well, first of all, the best example and your role models are your children because they are doing the best job that they can ever do. And they've learned from you, they've learned from the Americans, they've learned from back home, and they have integrated the best of both worlds, and they are moving very far. So
yeah, I'd consider myself, that sort of child. And something that I've learned to do is, growing up, I've known some people who, when we do the Pledge of Allegiance in school, people don't want to do that. Some people don't, and some people do. Would you say that sort of stuff is something that we should do as Pakistanis, that we should have a moral obligation to do that as Pakistani Americans or American Pakistanis?
we should have that moral obligation to do it no matter who we are, and they've taken it away from the schools.
Oh, yeah.
And growing up, I remember every day up until I think maybe 9th grade, every single day in the morning we would say the Pledge of Allegiance. And what made me really fall in love with this country were two songs, the national anthem and the line where it says, remind me what that was.
It was,
I was still there.
It was "This Land Is Your Land"?
No, the national anthem line.
Oh, and the rockets' red glare.
And the rockets' red glare.
And the bombs bursting in
air. And they wake up in the morning and they see that their flag is still there. And the other song was, "This land is your land, this land is my land." Just listen to the words sometime, and it will really make you feel like this is your country first.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that, we can, we can have our Pakistani weddings because those are so fun. We can have Pakistani food because that's my favorite thing. Like, food is my thing. But I mean, we can have that. We can have everything. We can wear shalwar kameez. We can be Pakistani, come to APPNA, but we can still be American. We can still be part of the fabric. We can still say the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem. We can volunteer in our communities. We can donate to non-Pakistanis in our local community. We don't have to donate 100% of our charity to Pakistan. Would you agree with that?
I would agree 100%. And I think when you donate your services, it means a lot more than donating your money as a charity. More so, your services are more accounted for because they develop into a friendship.
So one thing I noticed, for example, with the National APPNA, the Free Clinic Day, that's something that APPNA doctors can do to, I guess, give back to the community and be part of the fabric. Because I noticed that myself. I even volunteered at my local one, and I did the registration. But what can the Alliance members do as opposed to, rather than giving care as a doctor, if someone isn't a doctor, what can they do? Like, for example, how should they reach out to children, and why should they reach out to children?
I would say just go to your local inner city school districts and look at all those children out there who don't have the guidance that we have at home, and just to bond with one child starting at the age of 5, because that's their foundation, and just to bond with them and just offer them one-on-one tutoring or just one-on-one advice, just to know that they have a friend whenever they are in need. And believe me, it doesn't cost any money. And the best thing about it is that I have found so much peace and joy and contentment in my life when I help somebody and when they give me a smile back. And that's what I want all of my Alliance members, all of my Pakistani friends to feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean,
because it is the best feeling. It really is.
Definitely. We've been blessed so much. This country has been so good to us. We are Americans. We owe it to America to be part of the fabric, to give back to the communities that we live in. I mean, they say charity starts at home. And, you know, you were saying about how we should reach out to kids who, you know, at the age of 5, because what I've seen, especially in East Tennessee, for example, a lot of problems that people have is because of their parenting, is because they don't have good role models in their lives. So we can step in, volunteer at schools, and be part, you know, whether it's at a Boys and Girls Club or anything else, we can befriend these children, because nobody is instilled with racism. Nobody is like, oh, I just hate a Pakistani because of this reason.
It's all about ignorance.
Exactly. And if we reach out to them at all ages, but even starting young, they won't grow up to have any prejudices. And this is, I guess, a long-term change that we can do. That's how we can think globally and act locally. So if there's one thing that people want to take away from today, what would you say?
If there's one thing that people...
Like, what message do you want to get across tonight for everyone here?
Just to go out into your local community school districts, especially the inner city school districts, where the children are really, really in need of guidance, in just being loved and being wanted by somebody. And that's where my keynote speaker will come in, where she has started a program in the inner city school districts of high school. And we had a conversation, and I said, you know, I believe that high school is a little too late, because the foundation starts when they're just, you know, in their primary years of kindergarten. So I'm trying to give a message to go out and start at the kindergarten preschool age. And that's where Rahila will come in and let you guys know how to go about being productive.
Definitely. And I really look forward to introducing Rahila and hearing what she has to say. I've got some cool stories for you guys with that. But before we go, I want to say thank you very much for everything that you've done. You guys may not know, but it's been very stressful. Playing an event this large and this beautiful, I mean, just look at the stage, takes a lot of planning, and everything comes to her as the president. So let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Actually, I would like to thank Dr. Javed Suleiman, first of all, for giving APPNA Alliance the platform to have such a nice event. And second person is Dr.
Actually, how about we do this? Wherever you're at, when your name is called, please stand up and let's give them a round of applause, all right? If you're backstage, come around so people can see you, okay?
Dr. Javed Suleiman, can you please stand up or come up to the stage?
Well, first let's thank everyone, and then we'll bring him up. All right. So, is President Suleiman here? Can you please stand up? Oh, he's backstage. All right, let's give him a round of applause.
Second person I would like to thank is Dr. Zafar Hamid. He's the chair of the host committee, the local host committee, who's put up with me nonstop with all of my demands. And I'm very sorry if I bugged you too much and sent you emails at 3 o'clock in the morning sometime.
Is Dr. Hamid here? Will you please stand up?
Is Dr. Zafar Hamid here?
All right, let's give him a round of applause.
And third, I would like to thank Maliha Sheikh for being there, helping me out with the APPNA Idol and the judges. And Maliha, can you please stand and come to the stage also?
What was her position?
Maliha's position was just being my friend and being my helper.
Well, that's the most
my
important
local
position.
helper. She's the one who arranged all of the judges for the APPNA Idol program. And I would like to thank Dr. Shahid Usmani and Dr. Mahmoud Alam. And most of all, I would like to thank my executive council, Fatma Elahi, my past president, Samrina Hasid, a president-elect for 2014, and Jabin Bukhari has worked all day today, all day yesterday, and she's still walking around working for me. And Zilehuma, who is our treasurer, she could not make it this evening.
Can everyone stand up who's been called so we can give you guys a round of applause?
Wait, I forgot the most important person. Where's Nadeem? My husband, Nadeem. I couldn't have done, I would not even be here on this stage if it was not for him, and I would not have kept my cool throughout the 3 months if it was not for him telling me to calm down and just relax. And he knows that. I don't have to say anything more. And my children, of course, Farhan and Faraz, I don't even know what they've been eating for the past 3 weeks. I don't know when they've been sleeping. I don't even know if they're in the house or not in the house.
Well, can everyone come up to the stage real quick? We want to
stand. They can just stand.
Okay, okay.
So, and thank you all again for coming. And I hope I made my message clear. I hope I'm not confusing anybody. And Mo, thank you very much. Mo just came out of the blue from nowhere, and same with Rahila. And just finding these people and Googling all these people was such a pleasant surprise to know that how many of our own Pakistani American children are so active in the White House. And the most beautiful part of all of this is that they have no egos. And they are the most humble human beings I've ever met, because you will never hear about them, but you'll always see what they're doing. And you'll see it even more in the years to come. And I'm really proud of you guys. And I think APPNA parents should be very proud of themselves for raising such wonderful children, because Mo is also, his mom is a lifetime APPNA member, and Rahila's mom and dad are lifetime APPNA members as well. That was just a fluke, by the way.
Well, I definitely want to talk about that later, how APPNA has helped us all. But is there anything else you want to say?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay, well, let's give everyone a round of applause real quick.
Thank you.
All right, will President Suleiman come in? Say a few words.
Is this mic working too?
How's your timeline? No.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm the president of APPNA for 2013. I'm thankful to the president of Alliance, Mrs. Hajra Shani Kazi, and all Alliance members, its leaders, and the organization itself for giving me this opportunity to come to the stage and say a few words to you all. I welcome you all to this Alliance dinner of the 36th Annual Summer Convention of APPNA. Now, as you could see, a great, fabulous arrangement which had been done with the support and cooperation of the local host committee and its chair, Dr. Iqbal Zafar Hamid. I am thankful to him for arranging this beautiful program. A lot of efforts have been put behind this. It was not an easy task, and things were going on for over 10 months. Each and every step, each and every move were calculated and were addressed, and proper competent volunteers were placed so that our participants, our members, our guests should not have any inconvenience. This dinner program itself is a huge success. Never ever in APPNA Alliance dinner there had been 550 people. With that also tonight you will have two great musical groups. As you know, the first group was of Sabri Qawwal. Because of the visa issue, he could not come over here initially. He could not come over here, so it was switched to another group, the BRD group, I guess, right? Yeah. Okay, so now when we confirmed that group, the next day, the Sabri Qawwal visa issue was resolved. That was Monday sometime in the morning. We had a meeting over here and we said now that we have raised the expectation of our participants that they would be looking forward towards the Qawwal, and now that the visa issue is resolved, we do understand that there will be a financial stake for that. There will be we'll get a little burned, and we will have to save and cut some corners from some other places and raise more money for that, but let's go ahead and make our members happy. So we told the Sabri Kawal, we called them, the promoter, and told them, put them in the next plane to United States. So that was Monday night over here, Tuesday morning over there, and Tuesday evening they were on a plane, and they are here in the United States, and they will be performing here tonight. Well, now coming back to APPNA Alliance, as you know that it is an organization of the spouses of the members of APPNA. Now spouses, we usually call it the better half, don't we? So how can we say something else for APPNA Alliance? So let's call it the better half of APPNA Central. That's a tribute for APPNA Alliance. Well, my enthusiastic support for the aims and objective for the great causes of APPNA Alliance will continue throughout my presidency. Thank you so much.